Opinions expressed are those of the program host and guest and not WSTU. WSTU does not endorse any products mentioned. Any reproduction or retransmission of this broadcast is strictly prohibited without written consent of WSTU.
The Treasure Coast longest running local talk radio show is on the air. The Treasure Coast Forum. Get interested, get educated, get involved, and give us a call with your opinions at 220-9788. And here's your host of the Treasure Coast Forum.
Hey, so welcome to the Treasure Coast Forum, and
it's Palm City Charlie and
Bob.
Yes,
Big Bob, Big Bob,
Big Bad Bob.
So it's the oldsters,
Yes,
as opposed to the high school geniuses. We're going to try to learn as we go.
Yes, so our high school friends are doing. They're very busy with
Homecoming.
Homecoming. That's right.
Homecoming coming already. Yeah.
Yeah, homecoming activities at South Fork High School. So all the kids that would normally be here are busy elsewhere. Yeah.
And you got us.
Yeah.
The grumpy old men are here.
Would you like to talk about Biden's dog?
Okay.
Somebody
So
suggested on the air
Yeah.
today, a show I was listening to.
Yeah.
All we got to do is send Commander down to the border.
Yeah.
You know, we could
Sure.
bite this. Send all of Biden's dogs down there. They're very good at biting people.
The biting Bidens.
Well, I'll take a bite out of crime. So
Somebody else suggested, I got to mention
All right.
this. This would not be legal. On the show, I was listening to the person running the show. We can't do that. We can't do that. But this gentleman suggested we set up a couple snipers.
Ah.
You know, people trying to come in, break the border, take out a few. After a while, they'll get the idea we probably shouldn't be doing this.
Oh no, they got a lot of gangs coming over,
we
probably
could
loaded, locked and loaded.
Well, with snipers, I mean, you know, we do a very good job in the military.
yes.
Absolutely.
When you think of all these, the number of really bad guys coming over. A couple of weeks ago, they showed there was no kids in this whole group along the fence waiting.
Oh my God.
It was all older guys, looked like possible, who knows, gang members, fentanyl, sex traffickers, whatever. When did these guys start hooking up with these clowns we got breaking into the stores all day?
Oh,
and looting?
no, yeah.
And with all the stuff I've heard in the last few days about shooting innocent people, a lady with her babies in the back of the car in Philly
Yes.
trying to deliver Grubhub or something, you know, DoorDash, and had two of her kids in the back.
Unbelievable.
And these guys on motorcycles in Philly, for some reason,
Mobbed
smashed
her.
the back and the front of her car. She got out. This guy had a gun,
Oh, no.
and she's okay.
Yeah,
but,
but they raped her, I think. Right?
Daily, we're seeing this stuff,
Oh, my
you know,
God.
because
Because they can.
Soros is, you know, people that he put in office there, they're letting them go, no bail.
Well, we should go back to a civil society.
Wouldn't that be refreshing? Yeah.
Absolutely.
So have you guys been following with the senator from
Gates?
New Jersey, Menendez?
Menendez.
Yeah.
Oh,
Have you been following that?
well, he is the gold bar king, isn't he?
Well,
He's got
apparently
gold
his
bars?
wife has got more problems than he does.
Well, the two of them.
Yeah.
$500,000 stuffed into clothes.
Mhm.
Why don't you put it in a safe at least?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Of course, they could open the safe, being police.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's kind of funny how they're all of a sudden, like a lot of people are saying, and we've seen this before, they're trying to make it like, okay, the DOJ is being even now because now they have Menendez and a couple other people, Democrats, but they're picking the Democrats that they've had issues with recently.
Yeah.
So now it's like, no, see, we're being
So
the same
so
with them.
so what you're saying is that they've got people identified that when they need them, they can go ahead
Exactly.
and that'll
Bait
just
fish.
Yeah. So it'll distract the narrative in the news cycle.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people have said that, but we've known this for years. They've been doing that kind of stuff. They always try to throw in a little crumb when they're going after our big dog. And how about Trump yesterday coming out of that he got a little warning from the judge,
That
so-called
Don't
judge.
run his mouth.
Yeah, he was getting all over it, and
That
now he's
idiot
got
laughing?
a part of a gag order on him now.
But that idiot judge was laughing and joking.
Right.
He's having a ball because he hates all Trump. Hey, you guys heard what they're floating out, that they'd like to see Donald Trump as the leader of
Mhm.
the
Speaker.
the
Speaker of the House.
Speaker of the House.
Mm.
That would be totally wild.
Well,
And he
he's
could
either
do it
going to
for
be
a
the
while.
Speaker of the House or the Speaker of the Big House.
No,
when
no,
he goes
but,
to jail.
no. In the interim, you could, after a while, you say, "I'm off because I'm going to become president again."
Yeah.
But he could start to run the whole ship.
Hmm.
Did you see what he said after coming out of the court yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was right on, and he did, like somebody from the left side said, he did make it into a campaign thing. He said rather be in Ohio,
Yeah.
and which is where Jim Jordan's from,
Right.
and he said I'd rather be somewhere else, another swing state.
Yeah.
Well, they're interfering.
And,
They are.
But then the judge apparently put some kind of gag order on
Yeah.
him now, and this and that. But what he did was great. But now, which of these judges? There's one in Georgia, right? There's one
Yes.
in
New York is
New York and D.C. One of them's father was way up, like in what do you call it? The Black Panther movement.
Oh,
Way
as
back.
you do. Sure.
Yeah. I
you
don't know.
remember-
I don't remember which one.
You remember the two Black Panthers out in the voting booth area a few years ago?
Now we're not
With
talking
With
the
a club
movie,
and everything threatening.
Oh,
They were
yeah.
outside
That was
of-
Philly.
As their people were coming in threatening, what are you going to
That was
vote for?
Philly again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unbelievable. I
Yeah.
mean, we don't. Come on, let's
Yeah.
civilization,
Right.
civil society.
Yeah.
We don't need kids. San Francisco, I heard coming over here, they're closing all these stores because they can't keep them stocked, and they're also learning that some of the people that deliver are paying these kids. You steal it, I'll sell it back to them. You steal it,
Yeah.
I'll sell it back to them.
Where there's, yeah, I understood that a lot of the stuff that was
CVS.
stolen, right, would end up with street vendors.
Right.
So,
But the vendor themselves,
oh yeah,
I'll tell you, years
I
and years ago,
right,
Huntington, Long Island, I was in high school or something.
Hmm.
Some idiot who sold plate glass, think about it,
oh,
drive right downtown, shooting out windows, creating business for himself. He got busted
well,
eventually.
of course, yeah.
You can't be doing that.
There was a windshield guy in
These
New
are
Jersey.
storefront windows he
Yeah.
was
Oh yeah,
blowing out.
There's a guy in Jersey was shooting out car front windows that had in Newark. He had a
Newark. He had an
now
attitude.
the carjack capital of the world, Newark, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was shooting out to get the business.
Oh,
You've had
to get the windshield business. Okay.
you've had
How creative.
it's usually a tire places having trouble that
Right.
they just go down the road a ways and
Slashing
throw a bunch
towels.
of junk in the road
Or
like
slash tires.
Oh,
that.
Get an old ice pick out there.
good golly,
Oh well.
yeah. So Matt Gaetz says that he's open-minded on rules to change to eliminate the motion to vacate.
Yeah, so
It
no
had to
more-
be done what he did. It was horrible. It shook everything up.
Right.
But when are you going to do it?
Exactly.
My wife was all upset.
Yeah.
And I said, sweetheart, there's never a right time to say enough. Bastante. That's Spanish for enough.
Yeah.
Bastante.
Really?
This is not the Hispanic station,
No.
but we like to multilingual on occasion.
No, I like Jim Jordan, and Scalise is
Or
having some
Scalise.
blood problems right now.
No.
so
He
I
said he's good to go.
don't- yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Scalise said he's good to go.
Now, he was
I
the
like
one that
Jim
was
Jordan,
shot in that
too.
softball
Yeah.
game.
Oh, yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
Well, the Democrats like to take people out,
Yeah.
not to dinner.
Yeah. No,
Well,
yeah, in
on
Italian we say
occasion.
aspetta, which means wait a minute.
Well,
Yeah.
that's Greece.
Aspetta. No,
Oh,
Italian.
Italian.
Yeah,
Oh,
aspetta.
I've heard
Asbestos.
people on
yeah.
both sides going at it. This was terrible to do.
Hmm.
This was not the right time and this and that.
There's
But
never
come
a
on,
right
they only
time.
put in a 45-day thing where we're going to go back at this again.
Right.
They went home in August. They had stuff to do.
Yeah.
And
Did
you know
see
another thing?
AOC was complaining that
She had a
got
date.
She got called back to work by Speaker
Pro Tem?
McCarthy.
Oh, McCarthy.
You know, before he was vacated.
Yeah.
But she got called back to work, and I wanted to be home where I can talk to my people. You know.
People. Oh.
Yeah.
She wants to go back to the bartending.
So, but she's been off for 45 days, and she thinks it's, what has she been doing for 45 days?
Well, she was back there a week or so ago, right?
Right.
And they were screaming at her about the border,
Right.
the open border.
Right.
She wants to go see her people. Her people don't really want to see her. Right
No. I
Yeah.
saw that. Did you see that video where she attended a meeting and they were
Screaming,
all
yelling at her?
Then she
Yeah.
tried to
Well,
do it
nobody
in the
wants
streets.
all this illegals
Nonsense.
coming
Yeah.
over. New York is full up. What was that guy? The mayor, Adam.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's down at the border right now.
Oh no, he's in Mexico.
Yeah.
He's going to go to El Salvador. He's out of his mind doing that.
Yeah.
But he's going to Colombia. He's on vacation. I heard. He's having fun. In other words.
Yeah.
Sounds like
He's a dandy.
Sounds like he's bringing some blunts home for the bros.
Maybe. I don't know if New York is legal in there.
But that AOC, that Peter King,
Yeah.
that guy was supposed to win. He didn't even bother raising money. I mean, he probably did to put in his own pocket,
Right.
but he was a shoo-in. They were talking about him instead of Hillary when she was going to run one year. I don't know which one of the years, but
yeah.
and that they were wanting him over her. So he didn't even bother. And AOC started going door to door from the
that's
bar
right,
with all
yeah.
her friends from the bar,
Sure.
and she won.
Oh,
Yeah.
And there was like only 8% of the people vote
Yeah,
in New York.
yeah, that was crazy.
The turnout is horrible.
Yeah, that Peter King had no idea he was going to get his butt whooped until it happened.
So, according to Representative Burchett, he was talking to Newsmax, and he says Trump is a unifying factor in the speaker vote. Jim Jordan, he was on Fox News this morning and talking about why he thinks he would be a good
be
choice
excellent.
for-
He would
for
be
speaker.
excellent.
He likes, his committee assignments that he's currently on because he's doing some good work.
Yes.
But he feels like this might be a good opportunity for him to help unite the party. And
I don't know. You think that Donald Trump is going to get any of the Democrats? Maybe just to have fun with him or something.
No,
I don't know.
not a one.
So
no.
how the
Nah.
heck could he get in? Do we have by 5 votes? We have.
A majority by 5.
Yeah,
That's correct.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it happens if he wants it.
Yeah, I don't think he wants it. I don't think he should do it because he needs to spend all his time running for president. And
I think he could
when
do that
when he's not in court.
Yeah.
Oh, you think? I don't think he'll run for it.
Yeah,
Nah.
no. I think the correct thing for him to say is, it's an honor being thought of in that manner. But my focus is running for president.
You could be a speechwriter.
Yeah.
In your spare time.
In my spare time.
Another part-time job.
Well, this McCarthy in his speech that night that he got kicked, he was talking about, you'll read about it in my book, like he's going to get $1 million book deal.
He probably will.
When Paul Ryan, who I could,
I don't like
I
that.
hate that.
I thought he was going to be good.
Everybody, he played that.
Yes.
And he said in the beginning, I didn't even want it. No, they said by the rule at that time, I don't know if it's the same, he could work one day as Speaker of the House because he was claiming the whole time, I really don't want it, but he got it from who? Boehner?
Yeah,
Somebody. And the rule came out. One day he would get that increase for life.
Yeah.
And raised benefits,
Wow.
raised income, everything.
I'd like to
He
be
could have
Speaker
walked
of the
out.
House.
So this guy, McCarthy, he's saying making a joke about the book, but it's going to happen.
Sure.
Millions of dollars off of that. That's what they all do.
Well, he was the only one ever removed.
Yeah, and so he's looking at that, and he's set for life now. He gets that pension
He's
for
already
life.
wealthy anyway,
Yeah,
but
as
that's
long as the
great.
country's still
Yeah.
in
But
business.
yeah, but I
So
hope
we're
it goes
negative
well.
$2 trillion every year.
Maybe he could ship in.
We borrow $2 trillion more than
Yeah, I
we
think it was like
bring
interest.
in.
Interest is like $1 trillion or something,
Yeah, it's
right?
it's
It's
I
crazy.
don't know. But I know that our receipts are less than our outgo,
I know.
which is not good.
And then our debt's going to be at 10% interest. They said soon
Perfect. Yeah.
per month.
What can go
Well,
wrong?
isn't it
Per
happy
month.
we're
Yeah.
old? Let's celebrate, guys. You know,
So
I
we
feel
need
bad
that.
for my grandchildren.
So we need those college kids to pay that money.
Darn
That's
right.
Yeah.
Get them to work.
But Representative Scalise does have an edge for the first vote bets. But bets are off. If he doesn't make it, so he has probably, with all the staffing of all the congressmen and congresswomen in Congress, he probably has the best equipped staff for whipping the vote, and that is lobbying the other congressional
Right.
members to ask for their vote, and he has the best ground game for that. So I suspect that he would.
He'll do a great
Maybe he-
job.
oh, yeah.
Either him or
Yeah.
Jim Jordan.
Yeah.
I'd love either one.
I
Yeah.
like when Jordan gets mad. They were talking about today
Yeah.
on some station, and he starts sweating, and he turns into a bulldog.
You know who I just thought of who left? He does a podcast and everything. Can't think of his very smart attorney. I can't think
Smart
of his
attorney. That's hard.
Name. Well, he
Wow,
was
yeah.
in. He was in.
Sean
He was
Plymouth?
in
Almost in-
senator. He
Sean
was a
Plymouth
senator.
was-
He was a senator.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish I'll think. Eventually, it'll.
It'll come to you.
The little man. I really picture my brain as a little guy running around, and papers are been pouring out of all of these filing cabinets, and he's trying to find the right paper.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
looking for that right paper.
Well, we don't need to remember now. We got our senior C and
I think he's in Virginia.
We sit by the pool, me and my Golden Girls at the condo.
Oh wow!
And we'll all be saying, well, who
Oh.
was in that movie?
The
What's the
condo
name of
pool.
the girl that was in that movie with him? And the one girl, Sue, she'll get out we call it the senior C and
Oh,
say,
yeah,
like
yeah.
the cowgirls
She'll
move.
Google it.
You just Google it.
Yeah.
It comes right up. Now we all feel better. We don't spend all day long trying to remember who the hell we were talking about. So, so
Del Boca Vista.
Del Boca Vista North we
Yes,
have.
yes.
Yeah. These condos are getting a little crazy lately.
You got to join the board.
No,
I lived
no,
in
no,
a
no,
condo
no.
for 16 years in Connecticut. 16 years in Connecticut, I lived in a condo. These people are nuts.
Oh, yeah.
So I joined the board to straighten them out. I was on the board for the last 2 years, then I came down here. But I mean, I said, what are you doing with the money? It was sitting in a non-bearing checking interest
Not
charity.
really.
Just sitting there.
Wait for somebody
To straighten that out. I mean, right off the bat, what a mess.
And there's a lot of problems with theft in these condos too.
Oh, sure.
But you know what? The lady that does a nice radio show politically, I forget her name, but she lives down.
Casey Ingram.
No, the older lady. She's on in the mornings, but she has a condo there on the beach down towards where that one collapsed.
Okay.
And she says she has the money to pay for the increases because all the towns around that, especially if they're on the beach with a garage on the bottom floor, which is silly with sand, but all those condos in that whole area, I guess not even on the sand. Every city has their new things where everything has to be retrofitted. That all goes into your monthly maintenance fee.
Oh, big time.
And then the insurance is like non-existent anymore. And she says, so she has the money for it, but she said some of her friends don't. And the first thing people coming in, if they're going to want to buy one of these things, what's the monthly maintenance fee?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we just got all these new retrofitting bills, and we're going to have to have all this.
How much is your maintenance fee?
Mine?
Yeah.
Oh, mine's
condos.
Mine's cheap, $255.
That
And
is
I'm not
cheap.
on the beach.
Well, the condo I bought the fee was 47 a month. For paying a 47 a month, all of a sudden,
That's $47.
47 bucks,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And so
Well,
all of a
if you
sudden, we
clear.
needed the parking lot redone. All of a sudden, we need this roof. All of a sudden, I had
You got that
selling
bill.
selling advertising. I sold advertising to a storm window installer. We're talking and everything. He came over my condo. He said, I can put storm windows on the inside, electric heat, and a slider. Okay. I can put another slider outside there to
Hmm.
give you double pane.
Yeah.
Boy, did I save a lot of money
I
just
bet.
doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. These people are crazy. They came into my condo. We had to put new windows in. He says, your windowsills are dry. You have perfect windows. I can't do it. I have to go along with it. They're forcing me. I had a loft and I had somebody put Anderson windows in, electric.
Hmm.
Okay. They would close in the rain and
Hmm.
everything. I owned those windows. They couldn't mess with them.
Hmm.
I had to sign something that those windows were mine.
Hmm.
The person who bought my condo had to sign, I own those windows. But I had use of the loft. My kid lived up there. You in the summertime, you couldn't go in that loft because there was no
Circulation.
No-
Yeah. Yeah. Mhm.
no.
Yeah, but that's real cheap what you paid.
Well,
But
but then they raised it. I mean, after a while, all of a sudden, oh my God, $100 a month.
they're
This
all
was a
raising them
long
now.
time ago.
They're all
Yeah.
raising them
I've
now.
been down here since 2001. So that way I sold the condo. My father said, I need you right now. I told the realtor it's available now. It's sold that night. I left Monday morning, drove down to a job at the Stuart News because I had networked for 2 years.
Hmm.
They wanted me.
And then a lot of people get assessments, plus they have really high monthly maintenance
Yeah.
fees.
You got to move up.
They have assessments on top of the monthly maintenance fees, and a lot of them are really high.
Are you looking for people to chip in for you? There could be some Democrats. They're all willing to help you.
Yeah.
But if you get the wrong people on these boards and they start hiring cousins and uncles to do the contracting, and then they're getting assessments that are boosted up, or they'll get them from somebody they don't even know, and they'll get a kickback.
That's why I bought my own house.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I live in Old Palm City on the poor side of the street. I like it. Yeah, I lived in a squishy North River Shores on the water. Very nice.
Yes.
I walked around the block once with a senator. Somebody
Oh,
lives
Gail
there.
Harrell.
Gail Harrell.
Mhm.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
walking around. And, do you know who I am? I said, no, ma'am, I don't. I'm Gail Harrell. Oh, I'm Charlie. I didn't say Palm City because I was Stuart Charlie.
That's right.
All right.
I prefer Palm City, though. It's really
She used
nice.
to hang around down here a lot downtown.
Sure.
I don't think she was working the streets or anything.
Oh, my
Just hanging
God.
out.
Heaven, no. Looking for votes. Do you remember Jake's Raw Bar?
Sure.
Oh, that was a great place. Now it's the Dune Doggy or something.
Oh, yeah. Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other one's in Jupiter. That was there first, and then they opened this one. Well, that was where those two restaurants were sharing the parking lot. Neither of them
Correct.
wanted to share it,
It
and
was.
they both went out, right?
Yes.
But
Yeah.
that Jake's, that
Yes.
crab, my mother used to just feast on the Raw Bar. That was, there you go. Eat the Raw Bar. No problem.
All right.
And
so,
then the Admiral's Table,
yes,
we missed that restaurant.
I know, in Jensen Beach.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, they're
Yeah.
building
Did-
something there now.
I heard that something's going on there. I have to take a look.
All right.
Yeah, well, have fun.
All right.
Don't shake it too much.
Okay. So we're going to take a regulation timeout, and
Oh.
we'll toss it to Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Oh,
And now,
Hey, Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat.
again,
Nothing up my sleeve. Presto!
wrong hat.
I take a 7.5.
Now here's something we hope you'll really like.
Switch to Chrome to stay in sync across devices.
And we are back. Thanks for sticking with us on this special edition show while our
Woof, woof. Commander, go lay down.
while our students are on hiatus right now for the day because they're busy with homecoming. So
I
guess-
remember that. Boy,
Oh, yeah.
love is in the air.
isn't I love the all the activities on the field. When they have the homecoming queen and
My
they have
sister was homecoming queen.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
football team. Everybody gets
Oh, yeah.
So
recognized.
this year's queen might be named Michael.
Yeah, well, if he identifies. Michelle. I
You
changed my name to
never
Michelle.
know. Yeah.
What a cute girl
Oh, my
you
God.
are.
All right. Woo.
Not.
All right.
Come on.
Well,
Boys
talking
will be
about
boys.
schools,
Girl will be girls.
I guess Palm Beach is.
So
I think all their schools are going to have metal detectors.
yes, I
Good.
saw that.
Metal
Bueno.
detectors this year.
Sure.
Muy
Yeah.
bueno.
Or
Yeah.
next year or this year. I don't know.
Yeah, coming up probably.
Do we have them in our schools?
No.
Well, I think we should just for the one kid, that
So
goes
some of the
crazy.
guys, I go to lunch on Fridays with some of the business folks that I've known for the past 30, 40
Yeah,
years,
yeah.
right? And and these guys went to Martin County High School
Yeah. Okay.
back in the day.
They
right?
grew up.
And it wasn't unusual for them to bring their fishing pole
Yeah. Or their weapon.
or their weapon,
Right.
because they would go hunting,
Yes.
and they'd put it in their locker,
Right. Lock it
Yeah.
up.
and then they would go about their classes, and
The
at the end of school, they'd
Different time.
And that's something.
Different
Yeah.
time.
perfectly fine.
We
Yeah.
didn't do that in Cold Spring Harbor, Long
We
Island.
didn't have any problems back then.
But
Well-
it's like, what happened?
We didn't have kids getting molested and abducted. We didn't have
No.
anything
Yeah.
like this now.
Well, so to be fair, what we had back then was a bubble of information, whereas we're all plugged in. We know what goes on all over the world all the time.
Yeah, it didn't go national all the time
24/7.
back then. Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that happen and that were not on the good side, but you didn't hear about it.
Yeah, we didn't have national coverage.
My wife calls it a frog in the well type of experience.
Yeah,
right?
but I don't think
You know?
that creates it. I think
No,
that
no.
the violent video games.
No, yeah, I agree with all
desensitizing
that.
kids.
But there was bad things that happened. We just didn't know
Oh,
about
I
it.
got into trouble all the time. You
Right,
kidding me?
sure.
I was a troublemaker.
We
That's-
just didn't know about it.
That's-
No, my father
speaking of-
found out. He played poker with the chief of police. And I was a bad kid with the chief of police's son who didn't do anything. But me and my other buddy did. Who did it? Greg and Charlie. Uh-oh.
Ruh-roh.
I was grounded for 3 months
Oh.
for sure.
Well, I was saying a long time ago, there's no real need. Most schools have big schools or whatever have a principal. He does mostly paperwork and
Right.
bargaining, whatever. And then you have two vice principals. They're in charge of discipline.
Right.
And
Right.
one of ours was an ex-cop, Bookholt, and he didn't like me much.
Uh-oh.
But that was a pain in the ass too. But
Can you say
there's
that
no
word?
Yeah.
Yes, because there's a donkey.
there's no real need.
Too
There's
late.
Instead of those two vice principals, they should have retired police or military that
Oh, they
want to
should,
make a little
absolutely.
money and work next to that metal detector,
Mhm.
and they should have a dog,
Commander.
and they should have them, they could be at both two of the exits.
I think
and
there
entrances.
should only be one entrance, and that same entrance is the exit, period. There could be a back door locked, but you
The
need to
flow.
control the building.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. The fire
Anyway.
marshal gets involved.
Yeah.
Well, you
yeah.
need to be able to exit.
Yeah.
But you can't come into
Right.
that door,
Yes. Fire
Okay.
exit doors.
and you
only.
check it. I taught school for 1 year.
Those
You want to come
VPs
back?
No.
No.
Those VPs don't need to be sitting in the office. They should be at one entrance each with a dog and a metal detector and weapons, their
Yeah.
own weapons.
A big
What an
German Shepherd.
interesting sign of the times. Yeah.
I know.
Right.
Maybe a trained bear.
So there's a shirtless man in Wisconsin that went to ask to see the governor
Oh, I heard about this.
And he had a handgun with him,
Mm-hmm.
as you do.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, yeah, like
And
Bob.
so they said, yeah, you can't do that. So they arrested him,
Mhm.
booked him. He bailed himself out,
And then
and then he returned
with a rifle.
with a rifle,
A rifle.
yeah,
He-
with a big.
well, they
with a
took
long
his
gun.
pistol
Yeah,
away.
Yeah. Yeah. So as you do,
They got
I don't do
rearrested.
he
that.
got rearrested,
Yeah.
and now he's in a special place.
Yeah, a
For
psychiatrist,
for
a
observation.
hospital. Yeah, I heard about this.
But this is the type of thing that we know of here in Stuart, Florida, even though it happened in Wisconsin. We hear about it the same day, within hours.
Mhm.
Whereas if this was the 1950s, we probably wouldn't even catch wind of it.
But we
I'd
still
be
didn't
watching
have
The
much
Lone
of it back
Ranger.
then.
Yeah.
We just didn't have that
Yeah.
mindset and the
Right.
what's going on now. I mean,
Right.
look at these kids, these poor kids in these inner cities
Right.
that are run by the blue districts.
Mhm.
Well,
They're not learning anything.
All the big cities are.
They're coming out of school and they're learning how to carjack and loot now.
Yeah.
It's because they never really got a good education.
Mhm.
You know, there's what else is there for them to
I
do?
think they majored in carjacking.
Yeah.
Carjacking 101, advanced carjacking.
And you watch Cops. It's
Go where the
it's
cars
all,
are.
It's all races of people, everybody, and nobody ever has an ID on Cops. You ever notice that?
Yeah.
Where's your ID? I don't have one.
Oh, he doesn't have headphones.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, we're skinny on headphones. My headphones just quit working, so I got these
Oh,
substitutes.
I think mine quit working too.
Really? Something's going on.
Well, I
Come
stole,
on, Greg. Oh, mine's working now.
Okay.
I
nice.
pushed it in a
Oh.
little bit
I
more.
stole one pair with the first time I was here, but I thought it was like when you're
You
on the
stole
airplane.
one?
I
Bring
thought
it
it was like
back.
the airplane. You
Bring
could
it
take.
back.
So you could take.
Greg,
them
did you
home.
hear that? Bob is his name. Big Bob. Big bad Bob.
That's right.
Big
So there's a
Bob.
shortage of nurses. I don't know if you heard about
Yes,
They
and
just went on
IR
strike.
Indian River State College doubled their nursing facility,
Mm-hmm.
and that's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And right now the nurses are on strike. There's a big, you know,
I
of
didn't hear
course-
about that.
Yeah,
Yeah, started
so
this morning, I
There's
think.
a school for nurses called Kaiser,
Yes.
and apparently they all the nurses that are part of that union, they said, yeah, no.
Oh my
So they're on
Lord.
strike, and it's going to be a.
So
serious
you're
problem.
saying the nurses in Cleveland Clinic are not working?
No? This is a
Particular union.
particular union.
Aren't
Right.
the nurses in the same union in Florida?
Apparently not, and I don't think there's a union state. Florida's a union state.
No,
for
it's
that.
not.
Yeah.
It's a right
Right
to
to
work
work.
state.
Correct.
I was told that when I was hired.
Yeah.
If you get into an accident, we're going to drug test you.
Hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I avoided accidents at
Yeah.
all costs.
And see what UPS
And I
started.
increased sales by 40% being a New Yorker
Yes.
and maintained it.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't have to do computers. We'd love you to stay. I want to leave
Yeah.
and play.
Yeah.
I traveled the world, had fun
Yes. That's important.
since I was
too.
57.
Yeah, there you go. When you matured.
Pretty soon, I'll be 77 in another year. 20 years.
So
Oh.
looking at other items in the news, yes. So to confirm what we were talking about earlier, Trump tells Fox News Digital that he would indeed accept House speakership,
Wow.
but only do it for a short period.
That's what I figured.
in interim.
And he could
Right.
actually campaign from the floor and show his managerial style
Yeah.
and get a hold. And Matt Gaetz, I said this earlier. When was the right time to do what he did? There is never going to
Yeah.
be a right time.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's
Well,
the
I
same
think
thing
there's going
every
to be
time.
repercussions from
There's going to
this.
be bigger, but you know what? We need to have a balanced budget.
Yeah.
The last time was Newt Gingrich and Bill
Yeah.
Clinton.
Mhm.
contract with America or
Mm.
for America.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
contract, and then the Democrats try to change it to the contract on America. Remember that?
Yeah.
Because it was a contract for America.
Yeah. So they made a contract on him. So Mayorkas, he's suddenly found the money and then
To build the wall.
to finish the
wall.
a section
20
of the wall,
20 miles.
20
And that
miles.
Eagle Pass.
Yes.
Yeah.
And but they still but the big problem that the people that are going down there are saying is that all that does is it more accurately funnels people.
Well, that's
to-
what they want. They want to funnel them so they
right.
yeah.
So they won't be coming through that specific area, but they're still going to catch and release basically.
They're staying there. They're still going to have, like somebody said today, there's still going to be a door open.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
why we
well,
need the snipers.
You know, well, Biden and the Democrats just sold off a bunch of that. We had what, 300 miles of prefab walls there,
Oh, I
metal
know.
walls.
He sold it
They
immediately.
sold a lot of it, but they said
Yeah.
some of it that's left is what they're going to use
Yeah,
for Eagle Pass
rusted, right.
in Texas.
Right.
But they said then they heard there's going to be a little bit of it open, and it's just getting so crazy. I just, shut the doors. We can't can't take care of our own people.
Right.
Like somebody said, if you're having Thanksgiving dinner over and you got $10, you don't invite the whole neighborhood.
Right.
Unless they're bringing the food.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Bring your own
Yeah,
plate.
bring your own.
Yeah.
And
Unbelievable.
bring some for me, please.
A plate to share.
Yeah.
So the judge has issued an order placing Trump's business assets under court monitor. So that's going to be kind of a sticky wicket.
And this valuation of
Basically, the government's basically took his business away from him.
Yeah.
New York is trying to do that.
Yeah.
Literally, it pulled all their licenses and everything. But can you imagine Mar-a-Lago worth $18 million? It's 20 acres.
Yeah.
There's a little house down the street, I understand, on about half an acre that's up for sale for $18 million.
Nice.
They said he couldn't have a jury. So the judge wants him one-on-one.
And you know why his attorney made a mistake? They should have asked for a jury trial, but she screwed up.
No, but the other thing they said is usually when they have a jury in that situation, or when it's just a judge, that's when it's
More
not a
theatrical.
one-person owner or family owned. When it's a big conglomerate, that's when the judge will step in and say,
But
"No,
he
it's gonna be
hates
just
Trump.
me."
The man was laughing. You saw that, right?
Yeah.
He's having a ball. He hates Trump and everybody that likes him.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful judge to have,
I think we need to start telling our kids, hey, these young ones that just out of college or in the indoctrination process, the woke process. I think we ought to tell them, parents ought to be honest with these kids and say, look, this an inheritance that we've been telling you we're going to leave you one day. You guys get the Dems in there. You people, you young woke kids, you vote for the Dems. Tell your friends too. There probably ain't gonna be a whole lot left when me and mom are gone. You guys are not going to be sitting pretty like you would have been. You better start voting Republican.
I heard from a friend of mine that they live in Georgia. There is a mountain tax, mountain view tax.
Wow.
I go, what? I said, we have a waterfront tax.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing a mountain view
Wow.
tax.
Well, sure. Why not?
I guess.
Yeah.
It seemed like the right thing to do. How about if you're a blind person buying that house?
Wow.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm
I
Tom
refuse
Breed,
to
former
pay
state-
that because I can't see anything.
How
Oh,
about that?
you're lying, I think. Oh, I'm not lying.
Wow. A Mountain View tax.
All right. So a little transition music. We're going to take our last break of the evening, and we'll be right back. We'll be back in about 2 minutes. So stick with us.
You chill me with shivers of joy. You got that kind of sort of bit of a
we are back. We've got about 10 minutes left or so of the show.
Anybody'd like to call in? We're accepting phone calls.
That's right. You can reach us here at 220-9788. Operators are standing by.
And we have the lottery numbers for you if you'd like. We'll give you a tip.
Calvin's caller gets a coffee mug.
No, you've got to give him the coffee mug.
Yeah.
Frank's
Oh, we'll give him
poor. He
Frank.
can't give
No.
things away.
We'll give away Mark Breckville's coffee.
Greg doesn't have anything for Frank to give away.
We'll trade you coffee mugs for headphones.
All right. So, yeah.
Oh.
So, according to Newsmax, Biden says, I had to use Trump era funds on the wall, but I still say barriers won't help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, there you go.
And I wonder if he
So
locks
how
the
can
front door of the White House.
How can you, right? Good question. Well, I was there, and
Was it locked?
not only was it locked, there's a big gate. There's a big metal wall.
And there was a big dog guarding that door.
And very unfriendly looking guys standing nearby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Knowing karate and
Yeah,
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they got bite marks on their legs. So
From
yeah.
Commander.
Yeah.
When I lived in California, we'd go to Tijuana, or sometimes we'd drive all the way down to Baja snorkeling with family. And when you come back towards San Ysidro, where that McDonald's got shot up, remember, decades and decades ago, that's where it divides Tijuana and the United States. Not really. San Diego's a little further away. But when you come back there and you look, and we'd be driving back from, say, somewhere on the beach, and all the people are lined up along that border on this hill. They're selling churros and tacos. And
Oh, yeah. They
burritos.
walk the beach selling stuff. They do it in the Caribbean, too.
And then as soon as it gets dark, and on the other side, you see there was the green Ford and the Blazers they had, our people over there trying to keep them out. And as soon as it got dark, they break for it. And they know they can't catch them all.
Break for the border?
Yeah.
Oh,
they
yeah.
do.
Of course. They do
They
that
go
now.
down that ravine,
Yeah.
right across, and
I think that the pontoon things that the governor of Texas
Yeah.
did, why not?
yeah,
You're not supposed to be swimming over here.
right. They said it was actually
And then
saving-
Biden says, pull him out. I mean, it's your choice. You want to try? You're probably going to die.
Yeah. And this law that the Democrats always say is written somewhere in our Constitution or Bill of Rights or something, to where a woman comes over pregnant, she walks
Oh,
1 inch
yeah.
over the line.
No, it's not
she,
good.
She squirts out that baby,
That's
and
not
all of a
good.
sudden, it's an American citizen.
We're the only country that does this.
It's not. It's not an American citizen. It's an American tourister that's probably lucky to go to a nice hospital now for free. That's all you are.
China flies people in to do this, okay? And we are the only country, I think. There might be one other, but America is like the only country that does this.
But that's not in. Nobody can find it.
I
where it's
understand.
written.
Well, it's just they started doing it. Why don't we open up Ellis Island?
Yeah.
Do it right. I mean, all these people coming in, and here you had to have a COVID shot and all this business. Well, these people didn't. They're
No.
running all over the place.
Right.
Our kids are gonna
Non-shot it up.
They say our kids are we're going to have kids with polio soon. They say.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
good Lord.
Something
And rubella and the whole thing.
Mm.
Polio.
And a list of
So-
others.
interesting little before we have to go.
And aside.
We'll kind of circle back to the way we started.
Ooh.
Representative Jim Jordan, a Republican Ohio, said today that he had a great conversation with former President Donald Trump
Good.
about Jordan's bid to become the next House Speaker. But Jordan refused to say if he has Trump's support. So he went on to tell NBC News that he would not support the expulsion of Representative Matt Gaetz, a Republican from Florida, who spearheaded the ouster of Representative Kevin McCarthy, Republican California, as the speaker this week. I talked to the president about this and all kinds of issues, said Jordan, a staunch Trump ally, adding that when it comes to whether or not Trump is backing him, I don't want to say anything, but I
Yeah.
had a great conversation with the president.
Absolutely.
So there it is.
I'm surprised he didn't say, "You give me Ohio, and I give you my support."
I think Ohio will support Trump.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see how that all shakes out, but I guess they'll be doing the votes.
You know, if Joe Biden runs, which I think is highly unlikely, I think it's going to be our friend from California, Newsom.
Yeah.
Newsom. Mm.
That's what I think.
Yeah, because he's busy. When he does have an opportunity, he flies to D.C.
Oh,
and he
comes
brings
in.
his measuring tape with him. He's always
Yes.
measuring for draperies.
Well, I think
in
Biden
the
was
Oval
They
Office.
said he
overseas.
was probably filming video when
Yeah.
when Biden went away. He
Yes.
snuck into the White House
Yes,
and
he
was
did.
sitting at the desk or something.
He walked in with his jacket over
Yeah.
his
Oh,
shoulder.
as you do.
Yeah,
I
of
can't
course.
believe Kimberly Guilfoyle married that clown.
Did they marry?
They
They're
were married.
engaged. They're
Who?
engaged.
Kimberly
I know that.
Guilfoyle was married to him.
Well,
Gavin
Newsom,
Was
and now
Was.
she's engaged to Don Jr.
correct.
I told her one time, I said, "What were you doing?" Because she would text people. She was really open back in the old days.
Mm.
And I said, what were you thinking marrying Gavin Newsom? And then that was when they had
Mayor of
one
San
of the
Francisco.
terrible New York mayor was terrible.
Right.
And I said, "You're gonna marry that clown now?" You know? But this guy, I mean,
Well, he was mayor of San Francisco and handsome and charming and
right,
all that
so many
garbage.
videos of San Francisco right now where they used to call it the most beautiful
It's a dump.
city in the world.
It's
Yeah.
a dump.
They're closing all the restaurants.
Yes.
They're closing everything.
Yep.
And they're closing CVS's in all these towns. And
Oh, yeah.
it's just, they can't deal with the looters anymore.
Right.
Yep. That's how we. I think
I
Frank
thi-
and I were talking
sti-
about that earlier.
I'm
Mhm.
still afraid it's going to be Mrs. Obama.
She doesn't want it.
Yeah.
Thank God. She hates the White House. It was built by slaves, she said.
Oh, yeah?
All the servants that were serving the kids, she said, "You're not going to serve my children." All the help, they're all African American
Mhm.
mostly,
Mhm.
and Michelle did not want them serving her, her kids.
Well, they can put in whoever they want. In fact, they got
No,
their
but
guy
I'm,
from
I'm
Chicago.
saying she just hates the White House because
Yeah.
it was quote built by slaves. They're not, and they are so wealthy. She doesn't want that.
She can stay in one of those hotels with the illegal aliens.
She could win. God forbid.
Or woke indoctrinated babies. We're sorry we let that happen.
That's the only person I'd be worried about.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we thank you for sticking with us for the past hour.
And no calls. Next time you got to call. Of course,
Yeah.
the kids will be here.
Yes.
Yeah,
They're much nicer than us.
220-9788. And but we thank you for being with us, and we'll be back again here next week, right here on Treasure Coast.
The first caller was going to get a Lexus.
Well, I guess you lost.